on Saturday, and then it immediately turned to rain in 55 on Sunday. So that was nice.
Yep.
My virtual admin should be joining us here shortly. She's living in the Philippines, and her name is Deanne.
Okay.
And for what it's worth, the email address that we'll be using is custserve at our domain. So if you guys send anything out to me, make sure she's in the loop.
For sure. You got it.
Definitely will. Let me write that down really quick too.
We'll give everybody else a few more minutes. I don't know how many people are planning on showing up. I know everyone probably had a long weekend and may not all want to jump on a Zoom, but we'll give everyone a few minutes.
Deanne, are you online? Are you on the iPhone that I'm looking at?
We'll start maybe around like 11:03. Time for everyone to jump on.
Hi, Deanne.
There she is.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Deanne.
Hello.
Hey, Deanne, tell me again, how do you pronounce your last name? I'm having trouble. Quim Quing? Quing.
It's Kimiging.
Kimigi. Okay.
Yes.
I love it.
Sounds weird, right?
No, it doesn't sound weird at all. It sounds normal for the Philippines.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'll just turn off. I'll just stop the video.
Okay.
All right. I'll just get started a little bit on some stuff here. Maybe more people come by, maybe they don't. Either way, it's all good. But everyone that's here so far, thank you guys for joining. Hope everyone had a good extended weekend. Hope everyone is been staying safe and healthy. Just a quick intro. My name is Rob Derrig. I'm the National Accounts Manager here for the West Coast for iClick. So typically I would be the guy that would meet people, at a coffee shop, come into their office, anything like that. Obviously, that's going to be on hold for quite some time right now. Who knows how long, but looking forward to getting back to that when we can. Also on the call with me, that's going to be tag team the presentation is Vaughn Henslee. He's the inside sales rep for AIA, and he's the guy that's going to usually put together your quotes and help with mock-ups and help process sample requests. So may have worked with him in the past. I'm relatively new to iClick, been there about 7 months, and previously was at ETS for quite some time. So I know I've met Luke before, and whoever else jumps on the call probably familiar with some people. But we're going to split this up a little bit. And instead of just talking about products and products and products, that's really not going to be helpful right now. What we're doing is going to talk about some case studies. And through those case studies, we'll focus on specific items that are more relevant to today's climate. Obviously, right now, the main category that everyone's been focusing on and that you're getting requests for is PPE gear. iClick's kind of chosen not to go that route, but we do have a lot of other items that definitely serve a purpose and are useful in today's climate. And we're going to just kind of talk about ways those can work and ways you can kind of present them to end users. This looks like it's going to be a smaller call, so if you have any questions throughout the course of it, you can either enter it in the chat area. While I'm talking, Vaughn can answer those, and then when he takes over, I can answer those. Or based on if it stays to the low numbers here, you guys can just shout it out, and then we can have a little discussion. So we start right now. You guys can all see my screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I'm just going to minimize this a little bit here, put this up here. So the first case study we want to talk about was an appreciation gift for frontline healthcare workers. And this was done through Windsor Regional Hospitals. And like many other end users right now, they did it as a kind of a drop ship program. It wasn't really onesies, twosies, but it was to 40 different locations. And just a heads up to make things easier, what we've done for drop ships is lower the cost on all drop ships to $1 per location. It doesn't matter if it's 1 piece, 2 piece, 1,000 pieces. It's $1 per location for drop ships. And what Windsor wanted to do was show appreciation and pick a useful item that the doctors and nurses and these frontline healthcare workers were going to be able to use. And they went with our P4000 4-in-1 flip. And just let me know if you can see this really well here or not. So that's our P4000 4-in-1 power bank flip. The reason we call it part of our flip series is because you have one side here, when that plugs in, that's for an Apple phone. And then the other side is going to be for Android. So you have Apple, Android, and then in here, you're going to see there's an additional little area for the Type-C adapter. So just kind of put that in there, pull it out. So that'll work for some of the newer Samsung phones that are out there. So then this power bank becomes universal and for any phone that's out there on the market. Another nice thing about it, it's got an additional USB port here. So if you wanted, you can actually charge 2 phones at once. It's 4,000 megahertz, so you'll typically get about 1.5 to 2 full charges out of that. Why it was really good for the nurses and doctors, one, it's very easy to keep clean, whether you're using Clorox, Lysol wipe, or UV light to clean it. And we can talk about UV light in a little bit, actually. Okay, so you've got these, flat, hard surfaces, very easy to keep clean. I used this in Vegas the whole time. It was amazing for my phone to keep it charged. But the reason these doctors and nurses need to keep their phones charged is because for a lot of them, they're the only point of contact that some of these patients have with their families. A lot of these patients aren't able to get to a phone or are on ventilators, and they have no contact with their family and friends. So any updates or anything like that, the nurses and doctors, they've been using their own personal phones to work with the families and speak to them and keep them updated on any progress. It's also important for them to update their own family and friends. Obviously, their friends and family know that, being on the front lines, they have some increased exposure to the disease and everything else, and they want to make sure they're doing well. So they took that, they took their logo, they put it on the P4000, and then you'll see on the bottom, not only did they include their logo, they included the tagline, #superhero. What's cool about that is that tagline isn't licensed or trademarked or anything. You've seen it trending on social media a lot, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. So that's a great tagline to use. If you guys have any end users that are in the medical field or grocery chains, anyone that's been deemed an essential worker over the past few months, it's kind of nice to show your appreciation and include that #superhero tagline. Any questions right now on this particular item, this case study, why it was kind of useful, what you think about it? And then some other items that we've seen right now that I've been working on clients with for other appreciation gifts for healthcare workers. The first has been our P600 UL. So this is just your backup emergency charger. Same thing, it's part of our flip series. So you'll see over here, I can just pull this out here. Apple, Android, and then your Type-C adapter is attached to it as well. This will get you about a 25% additional charge. So this is kind of that emergency backup charger for you to just kind of leave on your keychain to have it available the whole time. QI Quad is the most universal wireless charger that we have. That's right here. So it's a 10-watt charger, and essentially it can be used as a docking station. It's a 10-watt charger, and you can plug 4 different devices at one time. Hence the name Quad. The reason it's great is because a lot of people, the reason they don't like to put something on the back of their phone because it doesn't allow them wirelessly charge. But if someone has stuff on the back of their phone, or they have a very thick case, or it's an older phone that doesn't allow for wireless charging, you've got these 2 USB ports in the front here. So you can still utilize the charger, even if you're not using the top of it to wirelessly charge. You can have 2 phones plugged here in the front, the 2 ports here, 1 phone on top, and then the micro USB on the back. So again, you can use four different phones or 4 different devices can charge at one time. If this is used at a hospital, like I said, it could just kind of be in a stationary area, used almost as a docking station. 10-watt charger, only $6.99 yet, really good price point on that. The Pop Wallet Plus is my fiance's favorite item. She's actually a nurse practitioner, so she's had to do COVID testing and so on and so forth, but she loves taking this with her because you kind of just pull this right off the phone. You'll see there's a little base here that stays to the back of your phone, and even with that base on, you can wirelessly charge. So your phone can sit on a wireless charger like this with that base still attached, and it works. You see the Pop Wallet just kind of interlocks, comes right off. When we go grocery shopping, what we do now is we just take this off our phones, leave the phone in the car, and take this in with us. Now you can just put in your ID if you need to, and then along with a debit card or credit card, and that's all that's in there. Again, another item that's really easy to keep clean, whether it's a UV cleaning or Clorox wipe, Lysol wipe, anything like that. And now you don't have, you're not touching so many different things, because the phone especially is one of the dirtiest surfaces or dirtiest items that you're going to come in contact with. So leaving that in the car is really nice. Now you just have the wallet, take it out, you push up here on the mesh, that's how you get access to your cards. So those are just sitting there, push up on the mesh, and then they are. This is the Pop Wallet Plus. We also have the Pop Wallet. It comes without a pop socket as well, but this one does have the pop socket attached to it. The UV Clean Micro has definitely been our most popular item over the past few months because even though it's not in that PPE realm, it is a UV Clean item. So what we can use this for, you plug this into your phone right here, just like this, and now you see that UV light. And this will be used to kill germs and bacteria. Works just like a Lysol or Clorox wipe, kills 99.9% of bacteria, and we're working on additional documentation to have it that it'll work specifically for the COVID disease and so on and so forth. But in general, we have seen facts and documentation that UV light is being used to kill the disease, but we just want to have that backup for you guys as well. So what you'll do is you'll hold this about 2 to 3 inches from the phone. Put it back in here. You'll hold about 2 to 3 inches from the phone, the surface area you're looking to clean, and about 25-30 seconds is the use, and it'll cover about a 4 to 5 square inch area. And then once it clear, you're finished with that area, you move it on to the next area, and so on and so forth. So this item actually we had in development for over a year, believe it or not. It just kind of hit at the time where it became the most useful, but we put a lot of money into R&D to make it on a smaller size, not too big. You'll see the same thing here. It's part of a Flip series, so it works for Apple, Android, and Type-C phones. So it'll work for any phone out there on the market. You can just kind of hang on to it if you want, or you can put it on your keychain. And it's just a fantastic item for what's going on right now. UV Clean is much, it's kind of more sanitary than, just these Clorox wipes and everything else. And if you go to any of the supermarkets, you'll see people wiping down carts and stuff with the Clorox wipes, but some of them will just leave that wipe in the cart and just leave it there later on. It looks kind of filthy, dirty. UV Clean is a much more sanitary option. So I don't know if you guys have questions like that right now. Again, you want to shout them out, or you can just kind of put it in the chat or comment section. Vaughn, did you have anything to add on
something? Yeah, to add on that too, like Rob mentioned, we're going to get the additional documentation that we're working on that we're going to have so that we can have the official statistics and everything that'll make it very easy to explain to your clients, because I know they're going to have questions on UV light and whatnot if they're not super familiar with it. I will say a really great talking point that we've been using too is that the subways and whatnot in New York City, they've actually recently, I think it's starting either this week or it was last week, they've changed their sanitation habits to using UV light methods to sanitize all of their subway stations, buses, and whatnot too. So it's something that on a large scale, we're seeing this become a lot more popular and a largely effective way to be able to handle the stuff that's going on.
Awesome. Okay, so the first kind of case study we talked about focused more on appreciation. This case study here was more of a work from home kit. And you'll see some of the names here. They are real companies, but we've changed some of the names just due to confidentiality agreements that we have, obviously with distributor partners, where we can't always divulge everything going on with some of these end users. But what happened here, this was a software company, and what they wanted to do was provide work from home kits to their employees. Initially, they were thinking power bank, but they wanted something more of a wow factor. So what they did was go with our QI bevel, which has more of a wow factor. And then on top of that, they really made it more custom, as you'll see with the custom back card and custom packaging. We'll talk about that in a minute. The QI bevel probably has the highest perceived value of any of our wireless chargers. It's got a lot more weight to it than some of the other ones out there because you have this metal rim around it. So that's going to have perceived value. It's going to look nice with the metal accents to it. Nice big imprint area, nice big piece. And then you've got the kind of the rubber feet on the bottom that will hold it in place. So what they did with that, we wanted something that would be a relevant work from home item. So obviously you want your phone charged consistently. So a wireless charger was a good idea. On top of that, we went with one of the iCam covers. The webcam covers right now are really popular just because we're hearing a lot about how some of these Zoom and other meetings are being hacked, especially when you're working on the privacy of your own home. You want as much privacy as possible. So right here, the webcam covers is simple, straightforward. But what they did, you'll see that they added the custom backer card. And that custom backer card to you is about a 10-cent additional charge. Very negligible in the grand scheme of things. Doesn't really add too much from a cost standpoint, but adds much more from a perceived value standpoint. Actually take some of the brand assets and art assets that you have there and put it, put the iCam cover right behind it. And then they package it all on one of our iClick boxes. So this is our jumbo iClick box that they use. You'll see here. So the plastic acts a lot like shrink wrap, where it almost adheres to the item and keeps it held in place. So, from an actual kit standpoint and from a perceived value standpoint and first impression standpoint, the logo on the backer card, the items, and then the custom packaging itself, this is a really nice kit that they put together. Other items that we've seen right now that have been really useful as work from home items, not necessarily part of kits, but items in general, are P5000 8-in-1 flip, another item that's part of our flip series. See here, I turn this on right here. And then once I get the coils lined up, you'll see the phone is charging that way. So this can actually work as a wireless charger as well. So it's a 5,000 megahertz power bank that works as a wireless charger. Again, going back to the flip series, same thing with the other one. This cord is all the way wrapped around and built in. Apple, Android, Type-C, all included. And you've got USB, micro USB, and the cord comes out and you can actually charge the power bank in and of itself as well. So 5,000 megahertz, you're going to get at least 2 full charges out of something like that. Really universal, really useful item. QI mouse pad, large format mouse pad, where you can just have the phone sitting here the entire time charging, while you're utilizing the rest of the space as a typical mouse pad. Just nice to have that available, leaving it there, right there on your desktop the whole time. Ring holders, again, they're not going to be the sexiest sell or the most innovative, but if someone's got a low budget, they are very useful because a lot of people are using their phones for some of these Zoom and teleconference meetings, and sometimes you just need something to prop up your phone and have it be able to sit up that way. So for a ring holder for $2 net is probably as down and dirty as you're going to get for an item that still becomes really useful. Pop Wallet, we talked about the Pop Wallet Plus before. Pop Wallet's very similar. The only difference between this and the Pop Wallet Plus is that it doesn't have the pop socket. Same thing, we've got the mesh right here where this comes up, down, and then we can just pull this to the side here, like this way, I guess. And then you've got that base on the back right there. Wallet detaches, and then the wallet locks right back in place. Last case that I'm going to talk about before Vaughn takes over was one that we did for a professional football team. Even if you don't know a ton about sports, you probably realize the Stingrays are not a professional team. Just sometime when we changed the name in this case for this case study. But what they did, they wanted to do a season ticket holder appreciation. A lot of sports right now, professional sports primarily, there's a lot of uncertainty going on. We don't know when the seasons are going to start up again, if they're going to start, what's going to happen. So as kind of a thank you and as almost an engagement as well to keep fans interested in the season, this particular team wanted to do something where they took three different logos, 3 different taglines, and 3 different items. So they just kind of mixed up these whole items together. What's nice about kits is that sometimes when you decide on one item, you might think it's a great idea, you might like it, but the end recipient, they're not always a fan. So now you take 3 different items, and no matter what, you're going to find one item out of that group that can appeal to that end user. And that end recipient can also give another one to their significant other, husband, wife, or one of their kids. So what they did here was they took our P600 UL. Again, this is your emergency charger. Oh, I'm sorry, this isn't the UL, this is just the P600. So this does not have that additional Type-C adapter, which is an Apple and Android. So it's got the 2-sided one. 600 megahertz, same amount of megahertz. The battery is UL tested, but the entire item's not UL like the last one you saw. So in that case, the case is UL and everything else, but the batteries are all UL on all of our power banks. So this will just go on your keychain. That's useful at games because once people get back into the mix of things and are at games, you're going to see obviously people, like always, taking a lot of photos, taking a lot of videos. You know, throughout the course of a 3-4 hour football game, the battery can die pretty quickly. So it's nice to have something that attached to your keys already, and that you can get that emergency charge and charge your phone back up to another 25%. So that in the end, you can call that Uber, call that Lyft, or significant other or friend or family member to make sure they can pick you up at the end of it all. With that also, they also did the eye shine 5 times. This is our regular eye shine, but the 5 time has an additional mirror here. So this is just a nice additional gift. We actually had done an order for this for the NFL 2 years ago, and they did a campaign. You know, here it says "look sharp like a stingray," but the NFL did something where they used the phrase "see yourself at the big game." You know, normally you would think an item like this, the mirror that goes on the back of the phone, because this does adheres to the back of the phone, and we also use it the phone stand. You would just think it's a female that doesn't fit the NFL so much. But when you use interesting taglines, things different like that, you can get creative. So if you've got a hotel chain or airline, you know, see yourself at Marriott, see yourself flying American Airlines, whatever it winds up being, you can kind of, you know, speak to your clients and come up with different ideas. And then for the third component of it, you know, it is football and people associate football with some drinking. So what they did here was just use our iPop stand. And this is obviously a bottle opener, but it's also a phone and media stand as well. So if you like this would sit right here, right in place, and your phone can be held up that way. So another item that becomes almost a work from home gift as well. Works really well when you have your phone sitting upright to watch videos or a conference call. It's honestly at iClick, probably the best bang for your buck. You're under 50 cents net for that one particular item. And then you saw before we had the jumbo iClick box. This is our large iClick box. So not quite as big. When you're looking at less items or items that aren't as large, it becomes more useful to use some of these smaller boxes. I'll stop there and to see if you got any questions right now that you want to discuss. Otherwise, I'll hand it over to Vaughn.
Sweet, let me go ahead and just get my screen up and then we can get it moving. Here we go. Are you guys able to see my screen there? Sweet, good to know. Sweet, awesome. So thank you, Rob. Again, my name is Vaughn. I know I talk really fast. I'm going to give you a lot of information really quickly, talk about a lot of products and prices. So by all means, do not be afraid to stop me or slow me down. I will not take it too personally. So let me go ahead and get this started. So kind of running off of what Rob said, obviously we have a lot of companies that are getting back to work. They're working from home, but a lot of companies are going to be getting back to the office as well. So usually the same sort of idea with tons of different taglines and whatnot. We have a company that obviously Diamond Mobile isn't an actual company, but we did switch out some names and whatnot. They wanted to use a few different of our products in a kit to give their coming back employees to get them excited with a few of their exciting different taglines that they use and whatnot. So some of the items they use, you see here are the Pop Wallet Plus. I'm going to show you the Pop Wallet Plus Lite actually. This is going to be a lower cost version of this same item. This guy comes in about $4.99 net, and what it's actually going to be made of, its difference is while the Pop Wallet Plus has a plastic backing, this guy will have a silicone backing, much like you've seen with some of the other wallets, but it is going to be reinforced on the inside. It still has the ability to remove the pop socket, so it will stick just right to the back. So it'll give you a lot of the same functionality of the mobile wallet at a lower cost than you'll see for the Pop Wallet Plus, which comes in at about $8.99. It also added to this one the iShine 5X, which is going to be a compact mirror that has a foam grip on it, as well as it's going to be a mirror on both sides. One of them is going to be magnified. The one that I'm showing you here is actually our iShine Glow. This is a cool item too, because you can turn this light on here. It gives you 3 different lighting fixtures here so that you can get real bright. Put it on the back of the phone, which is great for any kind of flashlight usage, taking a look at the mirror. It's worked really well for a lot of different brands. As Rob said, it's going to work from anywhere from things like the NFL to beauty brands to companies that want to show off certain kind of campaigns and things like that, whether it has to do with taking selfies or anything of that sort. Additionally, what they added to this item, to this kit here, was going to be the QI Square, which is going to be just like our QI disc. It's going to be a low-cost, $2.99 wireless charger, full bleed area on them. The same item, the QI Square and the QI disc are literally exactly the same, just different shapes for you. Same cost and everything. We have them in white and black. They work as a great low-cost item to pair with any of these other items because, like we said with this guy, you can take the pop socket off and put it right onto the charger itself. So you can keep those together. And then we have them all kitted together, you see here in our iClick box, which is something that gives it a nice presentation. We have these in black and white as well, so you can really kind of cater to what you're wanting to do and get a high perceived value in this gift. Additional items that we've seen be really popular with kind of getting back to work and whatnot. Rob showed you a few iCam covers. We have additional ones that we can do where we can go as far as to actually mold and die cut, putting on the outside of the iCam cover. So we've seen a lot of companies that wanted to do this. One of the ones that we did that was really cool was Shark for Discovery Channel, where we had a little shark on here and we would move it back and forth. It was the first ones, these guys. So those are really popular with about a $1.99 net price point. What we've seen too, I have one on my desk, is the QI Stand Square, as well as the QI Stand Round. These are great because they're a wireless charger, a great desk item. You can adjust it so it'll work with any phone. The sweet thing is that when you're getting back into the office, everybody's going to be, you always have your phone on you as much as you hate to say it, and you always want to be looking at it. So it's great to have it right there in front of you charging. You can always put it up in charging. You always have the ability to see it if you have a call coming in, anything like that, especially if you're like me and you like to keep your phone on vibrate, but then you don't put it in your pocket, so you never know when it's ringing. So it's kind of a nice thing to have it up in front of you, and it's like, oh, I actually am getting a call on this one and not my work phone. So that's a great item. Keeps your phone charged because also we're all salespeople, so we all need to be out and about constantly on and off our phones, whether we're going to meetings and whatnot when things come back to normal, or we're taking calls, doing Zoom and all of that good stuff. Something we've also seen that's really great for these are going to be our Blue Pods. These guys are going to be wireless headphones. They come in at a $17.69 net point. They're going to be chargeable through the case. You do have to have the case to charge them, which is great because you have the 2 pieces. Can be used by themselves. Each of them has their own button to turn them on and off if you'd like to, or they can be turned on at the same time. So these are great because we've seen about a 4 to 5 hour battery life from them. So they're really kind of comparable to what you see with the AirPods. But you have the imprint area. You're getting a high perceived value. It's a great gift to give to somebody. And we have a low MOQ on these. So we can go as low as 25 pieces to still get that price on these, which is great because especially at such a high price item, you're not usually going to want to give them away at a large event. But it's great for, you have 50 employees that are coming back to work and you want to give them something that lets you know that you appreciate what they're doing, make things a little bit easier for them. This is a great item because it has the full Bluetooth capabilities that you'll see with any other headphones. You'll be able to use them for calls, use them for music, easily transition between any of those things. So it's a really great item for that aspect as well. If you have an iPhone, it has the full Siri functionality and whatnot too. you have that set up, it'll work through those headphones just like it would through your AirPods. And then touching on, Rob did a little bit, and we talked about it earlier, UV Clean products. We also launched our UV Clean P4000, which is going to be like our P4000 Flip with all of the same functionality with the iPhone, Android, and then the USB-C charger. But it also is going to come with a UV light on the back. So this will be same functionality as the Micro. Got the light right here. Turn that back off. Except the cool thing about this one is that while it can charge your phone, it does not need to be plugged into your phone to be used like the Micro does, because the Micro has no internal battery. This one has an internal battery. So as long as you keep this charged like you would a power bank, you can actually keep this in your pocket, keep this in your purse, keep this in your bag, whatever you'd like, and use it whenever you'd like on any kind of item. And the cool thing about UV light is that we've seen, while we, like I said, we're going to get additional testing on it, it has the ability to work over all sorts of items. So it doesn't matter whether it's your cell phone, whether it's going to be your keys, whether it's going to be your TV remote or anything like that. It's a great thing that not only when during this pandemic and what's going on, it's going to be a great item for afterwards, because you have to imagine that once people get back into the swing of things and things are back normal, people are going to be a lot more concerned about the things that they're touching and whatnot than they ever have been before. So it's something that you can even use on a door handle. Use it on a pin pad when you're at the grocery store, anything of the sort. And I'm not sure there are going to be too many people that are going to be that upset with you if you're taking an extra 30 seconds to disinfect a pin pad area that they're also going to use right after you. So it's a great item that is relevant towards this kind of time as well as moving forward, because health is going to be a much larger aspect to what has been currently. Other items and other ideas that we've had recently are going to be ways to kind of keep our grocery store workers and other essential workers in mind. So we wanted to make sure that, and we've seen with Jackson's and Trader Foods here, they were able to supply a few different items for their employees that let them know that we're thinking about them, as well as we keep them able to do as much as they can and connected with people. Bob touched on them earlier, so I won't go too much into them. We have the P600 UL, which I myself love this item. I actually go kind of before everything. I'm huge on sporting events. I'm huge on concerts, festivals, things like that. So I'm always out and about. So for this kind of guy living in the city of Seattle, having an extra 25–30% battery life at the end of the night to make sure that I can get home, call an Uber or anything like that, or call someone to get me, that's always a great thing to be able to have. As we see here, over here, grocery store chains, it's the same way. You're seeing workers are working longer hours than ever. They're constantly in and out. They're using their phones to keep themselves connected with their family members more than ever, because people are not only just texting and calling, they're constantly on FaceTime. They're constantly on WhatsApp and all of these other applications to make sure that they're staying as connected as possible. So the items like the P4000 as well as the P600 are a great way to do that. I'll also show you the P4000 UL, which is our UL version of the P4000. Kind of an upgraded version, because all of these are internal now, whereas you do have the same.
This is me watching my webinar. It's boring.
Cords right here.
Wow.
You have the same cord right here. You also have on the backside a USB that is built into it. So and whatnot can be done straight from this device. You don't need any additional cords like you would with the P4000, where you have to have an extra micro USB to plug it into your computer. If you have this with you at all times, you don't need any additional cords to charge it, whether you're at your computer, charge your phone, anything like that. So I love this as a great idea. So especially with this huge imprint area, comes in white and black as well.
This driver is either new or he's a dump.
And then kind of just relevant in that same sort of area, we're going to have the UV Clean Micro that Rob was able to show already. You have the iPop stands, which come in a few different colors, which are going to be great for the kind of same sort of idea, opening drinks and whatnot. And then you also have our Pop Thirsts. I love these guys. These will be more of an item that are going to be a great item to get people back in. They're back into the swing of things, back buying coffee, back into the office. I always suggest these are great for any kind of college campuses, and what maybe not so much this one, because this is going to be for cans and whatnot. These coffee ones are great for college campuses and other kind of work campuses, because everybody has a cup of coffee all the time. This is a great way to use the pop socket to brand, as well as you can fully sublimate this sleeve here, so you can put any kind of branding, anything like that. And it's a great item that I wish I had a cup of coffee on me right now. Let me show you. I actually do have a can. I can put this one in. So let me put a can in this. It's a great, comfortable way to hold it, much like with the cup of coffee. Something that when I first saw this, I thought it was going to be a little bit odd shape, but then I realized that the way that this fits around a cup of coffee is exactly how I hold my cup of coffee anyways. So it's really cool because you're always going to be showing off the logo. It's something that it advertises and kind of pushes the reusable idea. It gets people to be able to brand themselves and brand their company as they wanted to, as moving more green forward and whatnot, and not using as much cardboard waste, because that's really the idea and whatnot. And it's a great kind of gift that you can give to somebody with a higher perceived value. That's going to be a great way to, if I got this showing up at college on my first day as a freshman or something of the sort, this would have been an awesome thing to be using every single day, much like a water bottle that you might get or anything like that. Whereas I'm drinking a lot more coffee than I'm drinking at this point. So this is a great item. That same networking area that you're. And then kind of similar in terms of appreciating the people that are still working at the moment, we have our food delivery workers. So we're going to the grocery store and whatnot, but we also have people that are every single day delivering food and going to all of these different places. They could be going to as many as 20 to 50 different restaurants and 50 different places to drop them off in and out. So we want to make sure that they're able to continue to do their job, because this is probably what's become, not only just for some people, a side source of income, this might have become their main source of income, with a lot of people having layoffs and whatnot. So we really want to make sure that they're appreciated. So something that we did for a different company, that obviously this Instagrub is not one in itself, that's actually a company, but we did for them is that we've seen with our kits here, we were able to do, let me see if I have one here, do a pop socket with a mount, which is great because these mount pieces can work with a lot of different pop socket items, like our pop wallets and whatnot as well, and the pop thirst. So it'll slide in just like it will anywhere else. These are great for drivers because obviously they're going to be in and out of their cars all day long. They're going to need to be able to keep their phone up. They're not going to be able to use it, so they want it to be hands-free, and it's a great way to be able to use a pop socket item as well as be able to use a mount, because previously a lot of items, car mounts that people have, you wouldn't be able to use a pop socket. So if they've liked pop sockets or wanted one, they might not have been able to use it with their job and currently what they're working with. Another item, let me see, where did I put it? I have, that works in kind of that same realm, is our wireless charging car mount. So this guy is cool because it'll pop right into your air vent. It'll hold your phone. Have your phone right here, nice and solid. The cool thing, you can turn your phone around and whatnot, so you can angle it. You can mix this around. And actually, this lower piece will plug into your AC outlet in your car. And this is actually a wireless charger. So for somebody like a delivery driver, this is going to be a great item to constantly keep your phone charged. You're not going to have all of these extra cords and extra dongles in your car to keep your phone charged. You're just going to have one device, holds your phone, keeps your phone charged. You have the imprint area, all of that. So you're constantly going to be using this and whatnot. And it's going to be a great way to kind of keep yourself moving and not have to stop to do anything like go back and get your phone charger, anything of that sort and whatnot. Much like we talked on earlier, UV light stuff is going to be a big deal. With the micro as well as the UV clean. I actually have the micro on my keychain here. These are great items for delivery drivers who are constantly opening doors to different restaurants, picking up bags of food, going in and out of more places than a typical person is going in and out of at the time. They're going to want to be able to sanitize more items than normal, especially because they're going to be doing food. So it's a great way to kind of keep themselves as clean as possible, make sure everyone is getting the safest kind of service they can, as well as making sure that they're keeping themselves safe, because that's something that's just as important as being able to service people. They need to make sure, and if anything is more important, they need to make sure they're safe themselves, because they're constantly out and about, exposing themselves at a higher rate than anybody is dealing with what's going on. And then right here, I do have another one. This is going to be kind of more aimed towards retail companies and whatnot, because as you can tell, a lot of big brands are having a tougher time with this, the pandemic and whatnot, as people aren't going in and out of stores to just buy things anymore. Your typical person, I know that I myself am the kind of shopper that I go knowing that I need something of a sort, and then I go to 6 or 7 different places and figure out which one I like best in the same day. And then I go back to the first place and get the first one I saw anyways. But it's something of, I need to be in the store and see it. So I'm buying a lot less stuff than I typically am from brands that I typically would. Albeit I'm buying a lot more random stuff that I don't need from Amazon. But in terms of retail brands, like say Vans is a huge brand that I'm a huge fan of. I like to try on shoes, even though you know that they're going to have a certain kind of they're going to have a certain size and it fits your size. I always want to try them on, make sure they look good and whatnot. So I'm not doing that the same. So we're trying to find ways that retail brands can still keep people that are fans of them involved. Still buying their products and make sure that they're still in front of their mind. So for something like this one, we had a large beauty company use our iShine Glow, which I touched on earlier, as part of a cool campaign. Where not only did they do this and package it with the custom backer card with all of their information and whatnot, it was kind of a campaign to be like, hey, here is if you purchase $100 worth of stuff on our website through our new campaign, you're going to get this awesome item. And then if you go ahead and take a selfie of yourself using this item here, and then hashtag it with show us your glow here, we'll be able to take this and we might add you to our Instagram story. We're going to feature you on our page or put you into one of our montages and whatnot. So it's a great way to kind of keep people excited. It's a hard time at the moment where people are kind of, you're at home a lot of the time. So you're not always putting the same amount of effort into getting ready every morning and whatnot, or even anything of the sort. So it's a great way to get people excited for the day, wanting to take pictures of themselves, really excited and wanting to show themselves off and not keep themselves closed off in this situation. That applies to more than just kind of beauty brands, because we create these custom backer cards literally just about any sort of item. We'll have them in this kind of size as a standard, but we can always kind of custom with overseas work, as well as any kind of pop socket item that we have here. As you see, I have a pop mirror, backspin, anything of the sort. We can custom those cards too. So for any kind of campaigns that people are looking to, I think that for that 10 cents, it's a really great way to get that extra targeting and extra marketing across for people. Because people love things that come in really nice packaging and whatnot. So it's a really cool add-on. It's a really cool piece that can really get people involved. Touching on that too, because previously I don't know if Rob didn't really touch on this too much, and I want to get into it, is that the pop sockets, we have not usually been able to sell them retail to end clients and whatnot for you guys and whatnot. So previously you had to keep them out of any kind of stores. We've had to be able to give them only giveaways. We can actually sell them retail now. So your clients are now able to put these into retail stores. So any of these previous pop socket items where it had to be a gift with purchase or anything at the store, you can now sell them as a retail item as long as they're posted at our MAP pricing, which I can send to any of you guys at this moment. But something that gives us the opportunity to campaign, because pop sockets are a huge item that are still popular, and with all of the different styles as far as pop minis like that too. You want to be able to brand as much as you can, and you want to be able to make money off of them, because it's something that you are putting a lot of money into, because they have that branding. They're going to be a typical higher price item. So with the ability to sell them in retail, it now gives you the opportunity to really get more marketing out there, get really creative with the different kind of branding and whatnot, because like with something with the pop sockets, a retail brand, like if you want to say a Coca-Cola, do Coca-Cola, Diet Coke, Coke Zero, and then they could customize this and make this as a cool piece that could either come with a certain drink purchase currently, or something that you can just buy, because people are wanting to support their brands as much as they can. So it's a great and really cool item that's going to be able to open up a lot of opportunities for us with retail market and pop sockets. So with that, I know I talk really fast, so if you have any kind of questions, by all means, shout them out. I'll go over just a few of the things that you guys get with us as a standard. You have the ready ship service, free samples to anywhere, ground shipping. We'll do the quotes and virtuals back to you within about an hour. Anything like that, as well as I wanted to touch on, we don't have it part of the presentation, we still have that huge custom capability with the ability to mold any kind of items, from power banks to speakers to USBs to really whatever your client is kind of looking for. We have a lot of capability with that, and while all of this is going on, it hasn't been slowed down too much by what's going on, because our factories are up and running in some of the safer areas, and they're going through all the right protocols to make sure they're still able to go. So that kind of timeline, your client has it from 20 to 30 to 35 days, we still have the ability to do that. And really, lastly, if you have any kind of questions, anything like that, virtual requests, quotes, samples, if you want any more information about these products, you can always shoot me an email directly at aia@iclick.com. That comes directly to my inbox anytime you send it, and then from there you can have my direct info and whatnot too. Bob, is there anything you want to add to that?
Not me. No, you touched on everything at the end perfectly. So I'm glad we just went over that. And again, we're both here for you all the time. We know there's not a ton going on right now. So in general, if anyone ever just wants to just chat and catch up and just shoot it. We're happy to do that as well. We know people are getting a little Zoom fatigue with a lot of these meetings. So if it's just a phone call, they hear another human voice, we're happy to, talk for a few minutes, because obviously we're all used to dealing with people and speaking to dozens, if not more than that, of people every day. And that's changed quite a bit. So we appreciate everyone that came by today. I've recorded the session, Melissa, so I don't know if you want me to have that sent out later on. I think I can send this presentation as well. But if there's anything else that anyone has questions about or would like to discuss, please let us know. Otherwise, you guys all have a great week, and hopefully we'll talk soon.
Thanks, Rob. You can send me the recording, and if you want to send the slide deck over, we can get that sent out as well.
For sure. Thanks a lot.
Cool.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everybody.
guys.
All right.
Take care.
Bye-bye.